and welcome to another music day. I'm Cece.
I'm Eve.
And today we're gonna start off, as we sometimes do, with a little bit of dancing. So make sure you have some space to move around.
As you could probably tell from that opening song, our theme today is musical theater, which I'm really excited about because that is what I studied in college. All right, for our first game, we are going to be doing an acting game to warm up our acting chops. This game is an emotional game where I will give you an emotion and then you have to act out the face that you would make if you were feeling that emotion. If you want to get extra credit, you can even stand up, get some space, and act it out with your body as well. So for example, our first one is happy. What would you look like if you were happy? Hopefully you already were watching this video. All right, let's see. Yes, this is my happy face. What would you look like if you were angry? Let's see your best angry face. In this one, you might even do some arms crossed, hands on the hips. That's a good anger face, Stacey. Okay, our next word is sad. What's your sad face? Your shoulders a little more slumped. You're not smiling. Okay, what about a sneaky face? You're looking an evil villain, like petting a cat or something. All right, and our next word is a curious face. That's the word that I associate with curious. Interesting. And finally, our last word is ecstatic, which means that you are over the top happy. It's like extra happy. So let me see your ecstatic face. Yay! That's how I feel when I listen to musical theater music. Since today is musical theater themed, we're gonna learn a little bit about what even is a musical and all the different types of musicals that are out there. So what is a musical? A musical is a story that is told through song. So there's a lot of squishy room, but in general, the difference between a straight play and a musical is that a straight play does not have the characters burst into song to carry along the story, and a musical does. So some really famous musicals you might have heard of include Hamilton or Legally Blonde, whereas a straight play would be something like a Shakespeare play. So even though it sometimes has music in it, music is not the main way that the story moves forward. Our first type of musical we're going to learn about is original musicals. Original musicals are musicals that aren't necessarily based on a book or a movie, they're just fresh original stories. So some musicals that fall under original musicals include In the Heights, Pippin, Six. Occasionally, it's a little bit squishy if it's based on a historical figure but not a specific story. And you can categorize it as you want, but there's a lot of really fun original musicals. Next, we have an adapted musical, which is a musical based on something that already exists. So for instance, Wicked is a really famous musical based on a book. You also have Elephant and Piggy, We Are in a Play, which our mom wrote the musical for. That is based on a book by Mo Willems called Elephant and Piggy, We Are in a Book. You can also see Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus is on there. That's also based on a book. So there are a lot of adapted musicals out there. Our next category is, of course, the jukebox musical, which includes my favorite musical, Mamma Mia. Basically what a jukebox musical is they take a bunch of songs written by a band and then they come up with a story to mishmash all those songs together and make them fit within a certain world. Mamma Mia is a really famous version because it takes the song of the group ABBA and came up with a story about a girl who's getting married and is looking to find her father. Next up, we have movie musicals, which I'm including in this just because it's fun to talk about, but movie musicals are in fact movies and not musicals you would see on stage, although a lot of musicals that appeared first on stage were made into movies. For instance, Mamma Mia. That was turned into a movie, and they even made a sequel called Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. There's The Greatest Showman, which is a great example of a story sort of based off a historical figure, but is pretty much an original story. There's The Wiz, there's La La Land. There are a lot of fantastic movie musicals out there that choose to tell their story through song. All right, that has been our main categories of musicals. Oftentimes, musicals don't fit exactly into those categories, but it's a great starting point to think about what musicals you might enjoy, especially if you think, hey, I love this story. I want to see if there's a musical out there that was made of it.
All right, next up we have our composer spotlight. So today we're going to be talking about a very famous musical theater composer named Stephen Sondheim. He's very old at this point, but he is still alive, which is super fun. He's 91 years old. He was born in New York City, and he learned how to write musicals from another famous musical theater composer named Oscar Hammerstein. Oscar Hammerstein is also famous for being in the famous musical theater writing duo Rodgers and Hammerstein, who wrote Cinderella. Some shows that Stephen Sondheim is famous for writing are Into the Woods, West Side Story, and Sweeney Todd, which you may have heard of before. In his shows, he is famous for using complex harmonies and a lot of wordplay, which means that the words are very cleverly written. And now we're going to hear a little bit of a song that he wrote for Into the Woods that features two princes.
As you're listening to this song, you may notice some lyrics that will tell you what princes from what fairy tales we are currently playing, especially Susie's. Mine's a little bit harder, but we'll see if you can guess while we're singing the song. Did I abuse her or show her disdain? Why does she run from me? If I should lose her, how shall I regain the heart she has won from me? Agony beyond power of speech, when the one thing you want is the only thing out of your reach.
High in her tower, she sits by the hour, maintaining her hair. Blithe and becoming, and frequently humming a light-hearted air. Agony, far more painful than yours, when you know she would go with you, if there only were doors. Agony, oh the torture they teach. What's as intriguing
Or half so fatiguing as once out of reach? Am I not sensitive, clever, well-mannered, considerate, passionate, charming, as kind as I'm handsome and heir to a
you
throne?
are everything maidens could wish for?
Then why not?
Do I know?
The girl must be mad.
You know nothing of madness till you're climbing her hair and you see her up there as you're nearing her, all the while hearing her agony, misery, woe, though it's different for each.
Always 10 steps behind,
There's 10 feet below,
and she's just out of reach. Agony that can cut like a knife.
I must have her to
there we go. Do you have any guesses as to what princes Cece and I were playing? Some context clues for Cece. She talked about climbing hair, waiting in a tower. For my character, I talked about being 10 steps behind, running after someone who might be running away, but maybe leaving a clue for me. So, Cece, what prince were you?
I was Rapunzel's prince. I don't know his name.
Flynn Rider?
Yeah, maybe.
And my prince was Prince Charming. You may have noticed I said the word charming in the song, who of course is running after Cinderella. Okie doke, for our next section, we are going to do a fairy tale themed game of charades. So Cece and I both come up with a couple different fairy tales, either fairy tale stories or fairy tale characters. We're gonna act them out and see if we can guess what they are. Cece, do you wanna start us off with your charade?
Yes. Okay.
Oh my goodness, okay, it looked like you ate an apple and then you fell asleep. I think you are Snow White.
Yes, correct.
Amazing, I'm so good at this game. Okay, here is my charade.
Okay, it definitely has an evil face on. She's making something, like soup kind of, but not soup, because evil people don't make soup. Okay, I'm gonna guess she's making a potion and that she is a witch.
I am a witch!
Yeah.
Perfect, well done.
Okay, here is my next one.
Oh, some climbing. It looked like you planted something in the ground. You're stealing stuff. Oh my goodness. And hopping back down. Okay, I think you are Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah, that's correct.
Amazing. And for our last one, here we go.
Oh man, okay. Looks like she touched something and then she also fell asleep. Seems like people are doing that in fairy tales a lot. So I think she's probably Sleeping Beauty.
Yes, I was Sleeping Beauty.
Awesome. So great job today, guys. And we're gonna end off as we usually do with a little dance party. Of course, musical theater themed for today. All right, get some space. Let's do it.